you say if you, I was at an event and I went, there's a patent attorney there, right? This was several years ago. I asked him, what do you know about land patents? What can you tell me about land patents? You know what he told me? They don't exist. So what do you say of such an attorney?
Well, first of all, if you have to ask an attorney, you're an imbecile. Okay? You haven't watched my video on attorneys.
No, it's
If
someone
you
I know.
have to ask an attorney, you're an imbecile.
No, okay. I wanted to, I asked him.
Only imbeciles hire attorneys.
Okay, well, no. This is someone I know who happens to be a patent attorney, okay? And I just wanted to ask him what he knew about it, so I see what you're saying. I understand that now, right? But
It's not the subject of his expertise. Either.
It's immaterial.
but he didn't say
Again,
that's what I'm saying, you know.
They can sit there and lie to you
Right.
because again, if you have to ask an attorney, then by definition you're an imbecile.
Right.
And you're subject to their codes, rules, and regulations.
Right.
Okay. If you have to ask them, you're saying, please represent me.
Yeah. No. Okay. No. I'm just saying this.
Yeah, well, that's what you're saying.
I don't get along with this fellow. I mean, he's a decent guy, but I don't. You know, I wanted to see what he was going to say. I wanted to see what he knew as a quote patent attorney. You know, that's why I asked the question. So.
You're saying I'm incompetent. I can't make decisions for myself.
No, I get that.
I want you to
I
make
wanted to see what he
decisions
would
for me.
say, though. No, I don't care what he says because I wanted to see how he'd answer the question. Is what I'm saying. That's why I asked it.
This is an act in 1862, an act to secure homesteads to actual settlers on the public domain. Okay,
Right.
so this is homesteads,
Right.
and this applies to persons. And so people that claim a homestead are taking advantage of a benefit for persons.
Right.
This is May 20th, 1862, 12 Stat 392. Be it further enacted that the person applying for the benefit of this act shall, upon application to the register of the land office in which he or she is about to make such entry, make affidavit before said register or receiver that he or she is the head of the family or 21 years or more of age, and the purchaser shall acquire the absolute title by the purchase and be entitled to a patent from the United States on payment of the office fees and sum of money herein specified. So this is to secure homesteads. This is the same act, Section 4. Okay, so that's Section 2. This is Section 4. That no lands acquired under such provisions of this act shall in any event become liable to the satisfaction of any debt or debts contracted prior to the issuing of the patent therefore. So there's no debt. A person is only a fictitious entity. This is an act prescribing the form of enacting and resolving clauses and resolutions of Congress and rules of construction. February 25th, 1871, and be it further enacted that all acts hereinafter passed, the word person may extend and be applied to bodies politic and corporate. So it's bodies politic and corporate fictitious entities.
Oh, they knew these things way back there. That's almost where it comes from.
That was in
150 years ago.
1862. This is 1871.
Yeah.
An act concerning the construction of statutes, which was approved on January 22nd, 1852, by the Legislative Assembly of the Territory of New Mexico. Section 1, the construction of the statutes of this territory, the following rules shall be observed. The word person may be extended to bodies politic and corporate. This is Arizona statutes. 1863, 12 Stat 655, together with all legislative enactments of the Territory of New Mexico not inconsistent with the provisions of this act and hereby extended to and continue to enforce the said Territory of Arizona. So that they're basically, because Arizona, what happened is just all New Mexico, right? And then they split it in half and said we're going to make this half Arizona. And so when Arizona was created, they took all the New Mexico acts and kind of went from there.
Mm-hmm. Just to cut out, go ahead. You're just talking on person right now. I just wanted to speak.
Okay. A person person, when using this title, where not otherwise distinctly expressed or manifestly incompatible with the intent thereof, the person shall be construed to mean and include an individual, trust, estate, partnership, association, company, or corporation. It's a fictitious entity. So think about it. Under justum generis, actually that's coming up. So check out my, that's my, actually I need to take that out. That's my channel that I canceled, actually. Include, or the participial form thereof, is defined to comprise within, to hold, to contain, enclose, comprise, comprehend, embrace, involve. That's U.S. Supreme Court, Montello Salt versus Utah. And then include is to confine within, to hold, to contain, to comprise within. That's American Dictionary of English Language, and then Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, it's the same thing. So include is limiting, is my point. And so then if you go back here, person shall be construed to include, okay, so that means it's only these things right here. Okay, include is only these things. You know, people shouldn't read into it that it might be something that's not there. It's not. It's only that stuff.
Now, just going back to that, individual was included in that.
That's right.
So then you would have to look at the.
That's what I'm covering.
Okay.
This one is a justum generis, a canon of construction that when a general word or phrase lists a list of specifics, the general word or phrase will be interpreted to include only those items of the same type as those listed. For example, in the phrase horses, sheep, cattle, pigs, goats, and any other farm animal, the general language or any other farm animal, despite its seeming breadth, would probably be held to include only four-legged hoofed mammals typically found on farms, thus would exclude chickens. And so, and that's a justum generis. And so then if you go back to here, it includes individual, trust, estate, partnership, association, company, or corporation. These are all fictitious entities. Therefore, an individual is also a fictitious entity.
So it's not a man or a woman.
That's right.
That's the distinction I was trying
Individual
to.
person, yeah.
Because most people have an understanding an individual means
So what's
a
individual?
Yeah.
man or a
Exactly,
woman.
exactly.
You know, an individual.
Well, you know, a person.
Yeah. Yeah, circular logic, I know.
Right.
What do you think of this fellow who talks about part syntax?
Oh, let's not go there.
Okay, because I mean,
Part syntax?
part syntax. Well, in other words, all right, you know what I mean. You know,
Yeah,
Joseph, right.
Talking
Win-
about the
We
Win-
Judge,
just
Miller
forget
again.
about that guy. I mean, or what that.
Judge Miller.
Yeah, it's windmill
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I mean, he might have something, I don't know, but I don't really pay much attention to it.
Okay, I mean, he's not controlling the military or whatever.
Well, he says he is.
He
I don't
said
know,
he's-
is he?
Right, I don't know.
Well, he's dead now. So
He's
we're
dead.
not
He's
gonna-
dead.
No, I'm talking about
but
Russell J.
lately I
Gould,
see a
his
lot of
partner.
But
videos
whatever.
from his
I
partner
mean, they say they're doing all sorts of things.
Right.
Cash talks and BS
claiming
walks.
the
That's
position
true,
of
because
the
we don't
United
really see
States.
exactly.
I
I
don't
haven't
flag
seen
and-
anything
Right.
that.
I don't see these people being arrested for, you know,
Say,
Right.
all sounds
all these
good,
crimes
all
and so
sounds
they've been-
powerful.
Right.
And I get it.
I don't see an action again.
International law rule. Everything is under international law, and this is one thing I was talking about, and that this is taken from a set of books called, it's actually 2 volumes, and they're available online. Jurisdiction over federal areas of the states, the report of the Interdepartmental Committee on the Study of Jurisdiction over federal areas of the states, Part 2, a text of the law of legislative jurisdiction, submitted to the Attorney General and transmitted to the President June 1957. So, international law rules. See, they're using international law. And that's why this international law that I was talking about, I think is so applicable, because District of Columbia, this is not the District of Columbia, this is New Jersey, right?
right,
And the District of Columbia is only 10 miles square, according to the federal Constitution.
right.
And the federal Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And so they assault you with international law, adopted for areas under federal legislative jurisdiction, federalizes state civil law, including common law. The rule serves to federalize not only the statutory, but the common law of the state. State and federal venue discussed. The civil laws effective in an area of exclusive federal jurisdiction are federal law, notwithstanding their derivation from state laws. and a cause arising under state laws may be brought or in or removed to federal district court. And then it's under sections 28, 24, and 28 of the former judicial code, now 1331 and 1421 of 28 USC. Anyway, so the point is that that's what they're doing. All state laws are actually federal. Okay, that's the bottom line. All state laws, statutes are actually federal.
When you're talking about the state of, not like New York, not state of New Jersey. That's what you're talking about, state of New Jersey, not New Jersey State.
Well, New Jersey State doesn't have any statutes.
Right.
The state of New Jersey has the
That's
statutes.
what I mean. That's what you're talking about, basically for the people who are U.S. citizens.
They're federal. That's
The
all
federal.
federal laws are for U.S. citizens.
And they've said they agreed, and they file out a 1040 every year. And
Right.
they, under penalty of perjury, I guess that's why it's voluntarily, what do they call it?
Self-reporting.
It says it's voluntary, right? But it's compliant.
It's-
Well, it's compliant if you have volunteered.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, this is a Supreme Court case, National Mutual Insurance Company, the District of Columbia versus Tidewater Transfer Company. We therefore decline to overrule the opinion of Chief Justice Marshall. We hold that the District of Columbia is not a state within Article 3. In other words, cases between citizens of the district and those of the states are not included in the catalog of controversies over which the Congress can give jurisdiction to the federal courts by virtue of Article 3. In other words, Congress has exclusive legislative jurisdiction over citizens of Washington, District of Columbia, that's U.S. citizens, and through their plenary power, that's military dictatorship, covers those citizens even in one of the several states as though the district expands for the purpose of regulating its citizens wherever they go throughout the states of the Union. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you're in D.C.
And you're screwed.
And according
You're
to according to what Kavanaugh and his confirmation,
Sorry?
that extends even to other countries.
On those
Really?
thumb drives?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
If you're
I
a
got
US
all my
citizen,
videos on there. Those
Doesn't matter
thumb
where
drives
you
have all my
you are
videos.
subject to the
Oh, like there's
jurisdiction
400 of
US
them on
government.
YouTube.
Wow.
They're on those thumb drives.
And it was confirmed
Oh.
by
Oh,
Lindsey Graham
on that.
questioning that
Yeah. All that. Yeah,
Judge
and
Kavanaugh
That's
there's-
what I can
for his,
understand.
his,
Right. it's
for his confirmation of
right.
justice.
PDF files. What the
Wow.
videos are there, and there's also PDF files, which is well, I'll show you. This is actually a lot of that stuff's on my website too.
Gee, I wonder why they don't teach any of this in public school.
Well, they don't want you learning about this. That's
Of
for
course.
sure.
Yeah.
What's so sad is that most college professors today, I'm talking about educated, they couldn't pass a high school test that my grandfather took. I mean, if you look at him, you say, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I've seen some of those tests from the early 1900s.
Okay, this is my website.
Exactly. Yes.
This is my website, and this link takes you to all my videos organized by subject matter.
I can go to my
Okay.
internet and go
Okay.
all the way
Okay.
to first page. Never open.
Okay. Okay. There you go. You got it. Okay. So then
Oh, you have it right there on your phone?
My first page.
it's right here.
It's
Read
still
files.
open, never closed.
Read files are right here. Okay. And so then, like that one is land.
Right.
Do it yourself.
What's your first?
Do it yourself land patents right here.
Oh, wow.
So then, see, there you go. This is a PDF file of that presentation. So you can have the video, and you can have this one too.
Now, you have something on there with international, if you have I have a situation with someone, I'll mention where, and it was relating to a building I was going to buy from this guy. I found out that it wasn't, he had it down, the contract wasn't written properly. It was 2 pages, it was really, my question is this, the guy's not returning the funds. I did a process over a period of 3 months, and I didn't do a notary presentment. I found out later it was an international commercial lien process. is that, you know, if that's something that would help me, you know, to maybe do something with this guy, or he owns land all over the place. I'm not land. He has buildings and land, and he has the funds to return. He, you know, I got $100,000 sitting like a bank type of thing. It won't return like $7,000. So, do I have some recourse on something like that? What I can do?
How much is it? 7,000?
Yeah.
Is there something you can seize?
Well, he's got things, but and he's got. By the way, he uses all capital letters on his names. Yeah, he's got. Well, he's got his home. I know that.
You could file a commercial lien, but $7,000 is hardly worth the trouble.
No, but I mean the process using the international commercial lien process.
You
Is
could use a commercial lien for that.
it, okay, and then basically I have to if he doesn't
Yeah.
respond,
You gotta seize something.
I have to do what?
Seize it.
Right, I have to go to after at the end. I'd have to basically get a go to a judge.
You could if you do the actually the you could do do the it's actually administrative procedure, and then you
Okay.
still have to go to court, but it'll be a foregone conclusion if you do it right.
Like I
It'll-
said, executing type thing. In other words, it's the trial is done through the mail with using a notary.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, but you still go to the judge and you get him to issue the order, and then once you get that from the judge, you go to the county sheriff, and the county sheriff will just go and see stuff.
okay. You have that process how to do that?
Yeah, it's in one of my videos.
Okay.
DIY administrative procedure right here.
Oh,
Okay, so then that's also there's a video about that,
okay.
and then there's that too.
How long does that take? About a month or so, or more?
It'll take 90 days.
About 90 days. Okay.
Yeah, well, you could actually do it in about 60.
Okay.
Yeah, you usually give them between 20 and 30 days.
I already did that. I
Each
mean,
of
I gave him
them.
like 4 months or whatever. He's not doing anything, and then I get a letter from his attorney. This was foregoed. You know, basically, it's, you know, liquidation, some crap. I mean, you know, it's total bogus, and he probably figured that's, you know, I forgot about it, but it's just, you know, it just bugs the heck out of me.
Yeah.
It's something the guy didn't pay much of. He paid a little bit more than twice what I already paid him as a deposit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he's just, you know, he figured, hey, come and get it type of thing, or unless I go further, it's, you know, it's lost. You know, so
Yeah, mind you, you'd have to check on the paperwork that if there was any provided, because sometimes lots of people write into their paperwork that non-returnable deposits.
right. But if you have an invalid contract, you know, if the contract is void because it was, you know, based on fraud, then I checked with the county, and the county said, no, this is not. You know, it's not.
Those are
It's
all
not
videos,
correct.
right?
You know, we have it down as
Yeah,
commercial.
those are videos, I
residential.
think. Yeah, those are
Type of thing.
videos.
So.
And
And
those
then the
are
free files
all
are
Well,
there.
residential is commercial. Well, that's wrong. I mean, it's not, you know.
Yeah.
So
And then in those
Yeah.
thumb drives,
procedure.
you'll have all the videos. There's a bunch of videos, or a few videos that are not there.
Procedure.
And then also in the thumb drives, there's a bunch of files. Like there's a law dictionary collection, and there's a bunch of files that are not there too.
Okay.
But this one here,
You know how big is that file?
how big? Well, each of those thumb drives are 64 gigabytes, and there's 5 of them.
Ooh.
So it's about 300 gigabytes of stuff.
Wow. Well, you mean this here?
No, on those thumb drives.
Oh,
right
on
here.
the something. Okay.
He was asking.
Right, but I
about-
can access without downloading. So I can
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, these ones you don't have to download. They're right
Okay.
here.
So how do you sell those?
It's
in
all my videos.
Okay. It's the videos and
It's all of my videos.
right.
Plus, it's the entire my law dictionary collection. There's this one's the law dictionaries. That's 64 gigabytes.
Wow.
And then there's all of my videos.
Are they
Okay.
marked? Are they signed?
Sorry.
Are they marked?
Labeled.
Labeled?
Labeled.
Oh yeah. Well, the name of the video. It's called. It's,
No, I
it's
meant
got
the USBs
The actual
themselves.
USB.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. See this one here. It says dictionaries.
Okay.
Okay.
This is videos
I'll
number
take a look.
3.
What are those run for a bag of?
And
The
You-
these
You brought your books already signed?
Oh, yeah. Autographed? You can get the book on eBay, but it won't be
I
autographed.
have it,
Right.
Oh, you got it? Oh, okay.
but it's not signed, so.
Okay.
All right.
Should have brought it with
Anyways,
you.
and then this is,
Should have brought it with you. You could sign it.
That's a
this
price.
is the
I
price
have it,
list.
but
Okay.
he's here
So
alone.
you got,
Okay.
there says 60 searchable law dictionaries.
Right.
There's actually more than 60. There's more like about 100.
Okay.
But there's I put down 60
Right.
from 1708 and forward,
Mhm.
and Black's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth editions.
Okay.
And plus there's a bunch of Bouvier's law dictionaries and
Oh wow.
You only
Um,
really want up to 6 anyway for the blacks, because after that they botched them and changed the
yeah,
definitions. or
some of the
took left things
definitions.
out.
Well, it's all commercial. It's
Right.
all, but still, it's good information.
Mhm.
The older ones are the better by far.
Right.
You find some really good stuff in the old ones.
You
I'm
mean like
telling
3 or before?
Huh?
Number 3 or before? Or,
Well, I'm not talking blacks, because
Oh.
even blacks started in the early 1900s.
Yeah. Right.
The older ones are like in the 1700s or the 1800s.
So Bouvier, you should really Bouvier.
Bouvier's, and there's some, what's the name? There's some, oh, what's the name of that? There's a bunch of old ones that you never heard of from like the 1700s or the
Mhm.
1800s,
Mhm.
1835. What's the name of that one?
Mm.
It's probably in here somewhere, but there's some older ones. Like there's one that I use that I found about under the definition of Mort Maine that talks about the Sestakay Trust. I use that one all
Really?
the time. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
You can talk about how you can access that. How you can access that account. I mean, it would be nice to be able to, I've heard of people talk about, but I don't know if anyone personally has ever really utilized access those accounts.
The Sestakay
Accounts?
Trust account.
yeah. I know the account exists,
Right.
but I haven't figured out how to access it. And there's lots of theories.
Yeah.
And like for example, I've heard of people that go up, like to get a traffic ticket, and they go with a copy of the birth certificate,
Yeah.
and they give it to the prosecutor, and they'll say, this is not for identification, this is for evidence of my interests. And I hereby release my interest to you to settle this matter. And the prosecutor say, oh, thank you. And that's the end of it. You see what I'm saying?
He just shows them. He doesn't even give them.
Give him a copy. Let
Okay.
him have a copy. It's just
Okay.
a copy. And it's not the back, just
Right.
a copy of the front.
Not giving a social. He's just giving.
No,
the copy
just a
of-
copy of the birth certificate. That's it.
Okay, and that has done it.
And that's what I've heard. I don't know. I've
Makes
never done
sense.
that. I've never done that.
It makes sense, though, right?
But that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've got the book on there. The book is my book is 30.
Mhm.
This is Mike Blackwell's book. It's kind of a primer for my book.
Okay.
He's on this book as a co-author
Right.
because I'd never written a book before. It actually took me about 2 weeks. He said to me, he says,
2 weeks.
yeah. He said to me, he says, I think you've got at least a couple of books in your head. And so he asked me to write the book.
Right.
And so I actually had the first manuscript ready in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
But he had to babysit me through getting it ready to be a book published, and that took like about 6 months.
Okay.
And so that's why he's on there, because he was heavily involved in
Right.
getting it ready to publish. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so he had to babysit me through the whole thing.
Right.
Anyways, I'm just trying to think of that law dictionary. I just can't believe I can't.
Wasn't like Cornell or Harvard or anything like that.
No, it's not a regular name.
Okay. Let me just get one of those papers there. Oh. Gotta get some more stiff, I guess. Some classrooms, they have them at 54 degrees. Keeps you awake.
Oh, yeah. That's a little too cold. Though.
There it is. Tomlin's Law Dictionary. Man, I
What is
can't
it called?
believe I forgot that. It's, anyways, this is the definition of, it says, this is a Sesticate trust. This is what they're doing to you. And it says, yet still it was found difficult to set bounds to ecclesiastical ingenuity, for when they were driven out of all their former holds, they devised a new method of conveyance, by which the grants were granted not to themselves directly, but to nominal fiefs to the use of the religious houses, thus distinguishing between the possession and the use, and receiving the actual profits, while the season of the land remained in the nominal fief, who was held by the courts of equity, then under the direction of the clergy, that's the Roman cult, to be bound in conscience to account to a sesticate use for the rents and emoluments of the estate. That's taxes.
What's the name of that book again?
That's Tomlin's.
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 There's about 10 or 15 Tomlin's Law Dictionaries in there. And there's 1835, there's early 1800s, and there's some that are a little later. Anyways, there's a bunch of old law dictionaries in there that are really good, I'm telling you.
So if you were to get one, which one do you think of the Tomlin?
Law dictionary?
Yeah, of the Tomlins, you know.
Well,
So you-
where are you going to get the one?
Well, if you could find one, you know, I
I-
don't know, online.
You could. I don't know where you could find one, but you could try. I mean,
Right.
you know,
Right,
If you don't
whichever
have it,
one you can find. Huh?
right. Okay. So any of those would be good, even if it was newer, a newer.
Well, they don't make them new. I don't know when they ended, but I
Okay.
haven't seen any new ones. 1835.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
let's look on this.
Unless
thumb
someone
drive.
could republish them, you would think they would be republished, you know?
No, they're not republished.
No.
No, it's
I
too
guess
much-
they don't-
Too much good information.
too much
in
good
them
information,
to,
they don't
Well,
publish
it's
that.
that kind of stuff in there. The Roman cult doesn't want you finding out about that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Let's look on the thumb drive.
Wow.
Blacks, Tomlins, Bouvier's, Ballantynes. And then there's all of these. Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
those old dictionaries.
These are all dictionaries. Brown, 1880,
Wow.
1874, 1860, 1797,
Does that mean
1636. That's Bacon's Elements on Common Law.
so anything you open, is that from A to Z?
Wait a minute, you have all these on your, on those,
That's all on that
it's all on
thumb.
that thumb, one
Yeah.
thumb drive?
Sorry?
Full dictionary?
Is that a full dictionary?
I have to open it with.
That's a lot of pages if it's a full dictionary.
Well, here, it's 361 pages.
Oh my gosh.
In
Wow.
other words, something from A to Z.
Yeah, this is starts with B here.
Wow.
HK. Oh, hold it. That's not. This is in the back of the book.
Yeah, looks like the appendix there.
That's an appendix, right?
Right.
Z. Yep, there's Z. Some of it like is in really old English, so you have to. And they're. Whoops. Ah, that's interesting.
It's in that
It
English
should be.
It's an image.
that
My
my son
scanned
is
image,
having
that's why you
trouble to
can't.
read it.
Well,
Sorry?
there we go.
It's in the English that
I-
even my son is having trouble reading
These
it.
I OCR'd these things too, so you can search them by word. But some of the pages didn't come out too good. And they're hard to read. There's no doubt about it because it's Old English, 1708.
Right. Yeah.
But
It's like reading King James Version of the Bible. I can read it.
here's the Tomlins ones,
Mm-hmm.
1838, 1797 to 1838.
Mm.
There's a 6-volume set from 1811. The problem with the Tomlins, if you look here, the pages aren't numbered.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't, maybe that was the way they did things back then.
You just have to scroll.
But so that's why when I put that definition in there, I had to
Word search.
I had to basically say that it was under the definition of Mort, Maine, because that's all the only way you can find it is look up Mort, Maine, and then Mort, Maine is like 5 or 6 pages of this little tiny text. You got to look through that. You see what I'm saying? So here, I'll show you. I think I got it highlighted. I gotta open it with this or it'll crash. Mort, Maine. Let's look up Mort, Maine. Anyways, a lot of this stuff I found it because I was doing keyword searches. And so I would just, search based on Control F, right? Mort, Maine. Okay, let's go previous. Previous.
The more you study, the more you find out you don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and more. More.
I went and OCR'd these. These were not searchable, and so I have Adobe Pro, and but the Adobe Pro doesn't. It crashes all the time. So I don't use it for opening it up. What I did is I made it searchable, and then I saved it, and then I use it when I'm reading the file. I go into here because it doesn't crash. Okay, so we must be getting close to Mort, Maine. There, that's Mort, Maine. It should be highlighted in there. I guess not. Maybe I didn't highlight.
Maybe it's still going up.
I guess I didn't highlight it. Okay, so let's go back here. We'll go to the beginning. And then we'll search for trust. There we go, right here. Okay, so some of it's not, yeah, some of it. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't highlight it. 'Cause some of it didn't come out too well. Yeah, so anyways, that's where it is. Yet still it's found difficult to set bounds to ecclesiastical ingenuity, for when they are driven out of their former holes, they devise a new method of conveyance. This is all Roman cults, what they're talking about. Anyways, I just stumbled across that. And that-
When knights and lords were leaving their possessions to the church, going to war,
Yeah, right, yeah. Knights Templar and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right.
it was supposed to be a temporary.
Right, it was for safekeeping.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Safe
we'll
keeping,
keep
right,
it safe
good
for
work.
you. That's just like I got it in my book about commuting. Right? You remember how Trump commuted Roger Stone's sentence? Well, you ought to see that.
That's That's why every man should have a son. Because a lot of them didn't have sons.
Yeah, that's true.
Or daughters.
Yeah.
Anyways,
There was no one to reclaim.
that's all the law dictionaries.
Unless you left it to a nephew or, yeah. But, all roads lead to Rome, huh?
In my book,
Still do.
Not my road.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's not our road yet.
Detour.
For a lot of people,
A
though.
fork in the road.
Yeah.
That was true up until 1776.
Yeah. So you're telling me that the Pope's and the dope Pope's no hope and probably doesn't use soap?
I mean, he has a billion subjects, but I'm not one of them.
I'd like to know how much, what's in the catacombs.
Did you
Can
see
you
that?
imagine the wealth they must have there?
What is this?
Did I ever see that letter, alleged letter from the Pope to Obama about, what was it? It was bogus, but for a minute it seemed very real, like he was taking out.
there we go. This is the Roman cult's penance was always for sale. You know why they call a penitentiary a penitentiary?
Penance.
Because that's where you go to do penance.
Yeah, and people make a lot of money in bonds.
That's,
Take your rights taken
it's
away.
all tied to the Roman
Right.
cult.
Yeah.
Anyways, and the Roman cult's penance was always for sale. I'm
Exactly.
serious. That because penance is a punishment imposed for a crime by ecclesiastical laws. It's an acknowledgement of the offense. Penance may be changed into a sum of money to be applied to pious uses.
This is why this would really got Martin Luther, as an Augustinian priest, so pissed off about this, and that's why he formed the
So
name.
can I ask Judge if I can be commuted?
Sure, but you got to have the money. It's how much does it cost?
Right.
It's all
You know,
price.
again, yeah, and then
Who's
and so
there
then
to determine?
if you could, that's why what you do. That's why the guy that went up to the prosecutor with the copy of the birth certificate, he said, this is not for identification. This is for evidence of my interest.
Is that Boris?
And-
or no?
Huh?
Is that Boris?
No. Oh yeah, it was Boris. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a great move if you
Yeah.
want to just settle it and get out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
And not fight
Exactly.
anything, and it doesn't cost you.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly. And so they go to the prosecutor with a copy of the birth certificate, and they say, this is not for identification, this is for evidence of my interest, and I hereby release my interest to you to settle this matter. And the prosecutor says, oh, thank you.
Well, it makes his job easy. He gets paid just like he wanted. The judge gets paid.
Exactly.
give
Everybody
you-
gets
And what
paid.
happens to the original holder of the birth certificate?
Nothing.
No, there's
They just want to get money.
Okay, so you said
It's
I
same
gave you
thing.
permission? You said I gave you permission to pay.
No, he said, this is not for evidence.
Identification.
This is not for identification.
Right.
This is for evidence of my interest.
Right.
And I hereby release it
I
to
hereby
you
release to you.
to settle this matter.
Ah, okay.
just this matter.
Yeah, right, just this matter.
But then that begs the question for me.
Hold on, this is
Therefore, if
stupid.
that's the case, in that birth certificate, there's an ability to settle various matters with that birth certificate, whether it's from Poland or the Ukraine.
Oh, there's all sorts of, it's absolutely, everything is
Okay.
for sale.
There where?
Huh?
Where is there?
What do you mean,
That
where
was
is
in a
there?
court.
You just said there. Well, where is there?
It's anywhere.
Where do I find that?
About what?
What you just said.
Oh,
That's,
Oh, the case? The case?
Other than common sense.
it's not written down anywhere because what's happening is the prosecutor has an oath of office, the judge has an oath of office, and they're perjuring
You
their
see,
oath.
I have a topic to write it down, and so I can read it and
Oh.
memorize it.
Yeah, that's in Boris's videos. Okay, again, those videos got my videos with Boris. Boris came to this event. Okay, and he talks about it, and those videos are in there.
Did Boris come with Natasha?
Oh,
No.
Lord, he went back.
No,
Right.
he had it France.
What's her name?
Pella and all that.
Trial came too. Trial's is a pretty sharp lady, and she talks about a lot of the
Is she
same
coming?
stuff.
Next week.
I don't know. Nelson, Trial's not coming, is
I
she?
haven't heard anything from anybody regarding that, no.
Yeah. So.
She sends me emails. She's still active, but I haven't talked to her in a while.
But again, you have to understand that the prosecutor has an oath of office, the judge has an oath of office. That's what I go for, okay? I go after their oath, and so, but Boris basically just wants to settle a matter.
Right, Boris just rolls over and says, I have this ability to solve my problem, and it's money, it's commutation.
Right.
It's to
Okay,
settle,
so where is that
settle
money
shit.
coming from?
So what,
The money's coming from the usufruct,
It's coming from the Sestakay Trust
which
account.
was created
Right.
when the baby was born.
Right, I get it.
Money was created to settle issues with that
Wow.
baby during
Be
its
so simple.
life.
so where's Boris's video?
Be so simple.
It's in there.
Oh, it is,
But
oh, okay.
what the issue is,
It'll be,
is how
there's a
to-
bunch of videos in there that are Northeast Private Information Share videos.
Okay,
Okay, and it'll be in there.
okay,
There's a directory
right,
of videos, Northeast Private Information Share videos.
so
okay.
it's a
It'll be in
way,
there.
it's
So
a way
that's-
not to fight. It's a way to just
Right.
make peace
Right,
and pay.
right.
Well, you're not putting it out of your pocket
No,
right there.
it's coming out of the
It's
trust.
coming out of the trust. They're getting,
Yeah.
they're getting paid.
You're-
But it's,
you're
it's,
state-
it's commuting the thing, so it's always used for pious purposes.
Can you repeat that just a little slower?
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
what
like
exactly
boys
you-
for the priest.
that's-
Mhm.
Here is a copy of my birth certificate.
Is it my or a birth?
Whatever. You give them a copy of your birth certificate, and you say, this is not for identification.
This is to settle.
This is not for identification. This is for evidence of my interest.
Evidence of
My interest. And I hereby release it to you to settle this matter.
Now, can they basically settle it whatever they choose to settle it with?
you
Or
for
do they have to? In other
It's
words,
always about the money, huh?
to release it to you for
To settle
Oh,
this
and I
matter.
hereby release
settle.
it to you to settle this matter.
but when you tell them that, do they have a minimum or maximum they can take out of that account?
I have no idea,
Okay.
We don't
but
have-
I can tell you that it's always about money. Remember yesterday we said all crimes are commercial.
Always follow the dollar or
Yeah,
the money.
Yeah.
UCC.
All crimes are commercial.
Yeah.
It's always about the money.
So you say when they send something and
Here's
they're
a copy
demanding
of birth certificate.
US dollars,
This is
that-
not for
that is,
identification. This
that
is
is,
for
breaking the law, like you can't, it has to be gold or silver. So when they
Evidence.
say you tell them no, well, how can I pay you? And they
No.
say Federal Reserve notes, and then you say, well,
They
no.
will never tell you Federal
Federal
Reserve
Reserve
notes.
Interest.
Oh,
They will never tell you that because that would be
this is for
perjury of oath.
evidence of
That's
my
what I'm
interest,
sure.
right?
Okay,
For
so
evidence
that includes dollars,
of my interest.
US dollars, basically.
Credit cards or whatever. Yeah.
Anything.
Check.
It's the only thing they can really ask for is gold or silver coin, and they can't ask for that because it's not in general circulation.
Wow.
So if you go to pay them in gold or silver,
You can't.
you can't.
I wouldn't pay them in gold and silver. Screw that.
No, but I mean,
Well, it's illegal.
if you did offer them, they gotta say I can't accept this. Is that what they tell you or what?
No, it's just not in general circulation.
Right.
Okay.
They can't ask for it.
Okay.
I'm not going to give them gold and silver.
Well,
Screw
right.
that.
Of course
Perjury,
not. Right.
perjury of oath, you said? No,
Huh?
that would
I
be
missed
perjury of.
It's perjury of oath for them to ask
Here's a
for
copy of
anything
my
but
birth
gold or silver.
certificate.
Okay. Perjury of oath.
This is not for identification. It is
Thank you.
for evidence
Oath.
of my interest, and I'm here by
Releasing it to you.
releasing
settle this matter.
Okay.
Or I hereby release it, doesn't matter. It can be ing or it doesn't have to have the ing. I hereby
Also,
release this.
the release that was fine, was right?
Yeah, that's fine.
It
Yeah.
didn't
I
say-
hereby release it to you to settle this matter.
So do you
Yeah,
think you ever
I
run
hereby
out of that,
release
that
is the
treasury
present
thing? Do you think it
tense.
ever runs out, that
Release
trust?
thing?
That
I
they-
can
is
tell
a
you
past
there's
tense.
millions of dollars in it.
yeah,
in English.
it should cover everything, basically.
Yeah.
Well, are they?
What
It's
happens?
make believe.
Yeah.
What happens? Think about it. Anytime there's a war, okay,
Yeah.
all those soldiers have Treasury direct accounts, and so when nobody claims that account, where do you think the money goes? The Treasury gets it,
Oh my God.
and
They're
so
so rich.
if the United States after
I want
the
to
end,
work for them. I'm
after
just
the
kidding.
end of the Second World War, the United States was the most indebted country in the world. But within 10 years, they had the least debt of any country on the planet. Well, think about it. Why do you think that happened? That was because all those Sestica trust accounts from all those people that got killed in that war
Right.
went into the Treasury.
Yeah. They collect $11 million or whatever on.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
from each one, thousands or millions of people that got killed in the war.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So that's why they kind of will always debate these abortion laws, because they kind of want to be able to have more money growing out of it.
Well, abortions, there's no birth certificate, so that's,
There
it's
isn't
not
that- there
created
isn't-
into the
there-
system.
There is,
No,
I'm not sure about that, because there is a certificate that is signed by a coroner upon, it's called a fetal certificate.
Oh, you're kidding?
No,
Oh,
found
Yeah, I
that.
heard of that too. Yeah.
So it could be they're collecting 600,000.
The bastards,
Wow.
probably.
What I'm gonna be doing is going back and saying my earthly father's, he was born in 33 or 34, and didn't know about his rights. I'm wondering if the reason why us sovereign citizens who have posterity aren't so valuable is because all of the benefits that rolled forward from all of those people kind of become part of the living, it's a living estate as the heirs.
I don't know.
Like it doesn't, like you say that when those guys died, yes, they got the money was, the credit was issued in their name to, the Treasury got the money, but are they only holding it as the
Yeah, in trust.
trustee till some heir comes and claims it?
No, well, there's a period of time when someone can claim it,
Ugh.
and then when they don't, then the Treasury just gets it.
Yeah.
Says who?
That's basically
I think that's-
abandoned property. I
Yeah,
think
so
it's
yeah,
after
it's
3
It
years or
can't
7
be-
years.
It can't be abandoned.
Wow.
It
Whatever.
can't be
Well-
abandoned because if a guy's declared dead and lost at sea, the estate goes to the state, but not to get, it's to be.
Yeah, but
hold.
even lost at seas for 7 years. After 7
You
years,
could
you're
pop up in
pronounced
ocean
dead.
again.
What happened?
Then you've got law of salvage then anyway. You're salvaging lost property.
I don't think so, because, I don't think so, because the
After 7 years, they're pronounced dead.
yes, and then what would happen, right, but all I'm saying is at that time, that's why they have to wait 7 years to probate the estate on the birth certificates.
Okay.
Because it then allows them to have use of the money. It doesn't mean they're not still obligated to act properly, because who knows when some decedent, or not decedent, but heir is going to return. We don't know.
Yeah, but
That
Well-
sailor could have married somebody in some far off land and may be entitled to that.
that's interesting. I never thought of
You
that.
see,
But,
because my
Yeah.
understanding is the birth certificate takes 7 years to be probated.
you know, there was an article I read recently
The estate.
where there was someone that is still alive that is collecting a pension from a Civil War soldier.
Really?
Yeah.
And they were given land in lieu of pay.
Well, there was this one was a lady who
The soldiers were. Of the
yeah,
Civil War.
the soldier died in the early 1900s, but before he died, he married this girl that was 21 or something like that at the time, and I think they even had a baby, and now she's in her 80s or 90s and still collecting a pension, and from Civil War, because she was entitled to a pension, still collecting a Civil War
Yeah,
pension.
so
Wow.
it'd be a widow's pension then, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? From a,
Well, he survived the Civil War, but yeah, he died in the early 1900s, and she's still alive. And
But why would she? I mean, normally it would end, but so I
no,
think
only on
there's-
her death. That's
Yeah.
when it ends.
she's
it
when she
transfers
does.
from him to her,
Oh, she was the
or at
widow.
least a
She
portion
was
of
the
it.
married. She was
She's
the
the
married
wife,
widow.
yeah.
Okay, not the daughter of someone.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it should know it's
it was
wife.
the wife. She was the wife.
To settle
Okay.
the matter here and now.
No, just settle this matter. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
No point of including here and now.
No, I wouldn't put here now.
And because you're the beneficiary at that moment, because you've made them the trustee, the judge has become the trustee. Correct?
Well, it's actually you don't even talk to the judge. You talk to the prosecutor
But-
because
but
the
this-
judge is working for the prosecutor.
But this is the charging prosecutor, right?
I
Yeah.
thought the prosecutor's working for the
Exactly.
judge.
No,
The judge works for the prosecutor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's the court cases that talk about that. All sorts of court cases.
But isn't the judge the one who, like, in this country, when there's bonds, there's prison bonds, that's the guy that gets his
It's
retirement?
all a commercial transaction.
No, but doesn't the judge make a considerable amount of dollars
They
from
do.
putting someone in prison?
They do.
Not so much as the prosecutor, though. The
But it
prosecutor,
doesn't matter. The judge is working for the prosecutor.
it's unbelievable.
He
that
has
they
to
could-
flip.
Or even with.
There's
Doesn't
lots of
matter.
court cases that talk about it.
They're all working for each other.
It's administrative law. That's under administrative law, and there's no other law. It's all administrative.
Would this apply in a private room trying to talk to prosecutor before
Exactly.
seeing
That's what you
judge
do.
or when you're already on the floor?
No, you talk to the prosecutor before.
What if you can get to prosecutor before entering floor?
Well, it's up to you, but I would, if you're going to do that, you contact them and say, look, I need to talk to you. Don't tell them why, just I need to talk to you.
Well, sounds like all this stuff is devised someone like Satan.
But
devised all this stuff.
anytime I've been in any of those cases, they always give you an opportunity to talk to the prosecutor because they want to settle the matter, and they
They
always
usually want you to plead guilty, though. That's what it is.
Well, whatever, a
Initially.
plea. They want a
They
plea.
want a plea. Yeah.
But again, that comes down to settlement. And so if you're just going to commute it, settle it, and then you just settle it,
But isn't it true that the change in the co-trustee to just trustee and beneficiary takes place when the man presents the certificate?
I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to that. It's
But
not something that I do.
That's critical to, in my view, understanding why it works.
Yeah.
So
Should we
there's
go
three,
for
there's
lunch?
three parties in a trust.
It's
though, isn't
actually-
Let me
there?
take a little break. Yeah.
It's,
There has to be
it's
3
2:30,
parties in a
2:30.
trust.
Yeah.
I'd be more concerned about what's coming
So when
after.
you separate yourself from the
Let's
birth
say we're in a
certificate, you
courtroom,
become the third
right?
party.
We're in a courtroom and judge calls your name.
Not the judge
and I
anymore.
go,
You're taking
I'm
the
not
judge
here
out
as
of
an
it.
surety or trustee or
Right, you're
corporate
empowering
capacity.
the prosecutor
I am
to settle
mad.
the charge.
I am
And
mad.
then when that happens, the judge just signs
Can't
off
enter
on the
plea,
agreement.
all
Yes.
I do.
but no one even
Yeah.
offered to enter
No.
to.
I
He-
would,
he may
all
still
I
get
would do.
his
So
Well,
that
from the
tells you
prosecutor
that
to say,
potentially, with
uh,
a 5-star
I'm here
passport,
about that matter.
there's a Sesticate trust that.
That's-
that
Hear
leases
about it matter.
your
And
money.
that's it. That's all you have to say.
20
But then
million,
the-
5 million, 10 million, or it could be 100 million based on the fact that all of that
I'm
has
he-
rolled
so I
forward.
can say I'm here
That's
for
what
the
I'm
matter.
thinking has happened.
Well, how do we?
And-
How do you access
Best to my
that?
knowledge, I should continue with this.
By the way, have
Because
you
I'm not
heard
here
of
as an surety or trustee.
closed
or corporate
closed
capacity.
checking account?
Yeah.
Closed checking
That's
account.
I
stuff-
can enter plea.
It's closed,
I'm not the person
but
that
there's
you are
you can
referring
basically,
to.
if you know
But
how
I
to do it,
am
there's a
here
process to
now
basically
to
use that
accept
those
any
funds in that account.
charges and settle any matter if you want me to.
Well, you could do that. I mean, that's fine.
No.
I've heard
To my own understanding, I can
things
order
about that,
things.
but no one's successful.
I can
How?
order.
I know. Okay.
You know, and
I can't take
typically, I
liability.
think everyone has
Where's
a
the
Sesticate
person
trust of some
with
value.
the claim.
even if
Yeah.
an immigrant is born
So I
here
can
today,
put him,
Right.
her on a
then
stand.
the question
They
becomes,
cannot take a place on the stand
How
to
to
testify
become
but
the
I feel like
the full
I'm still missing
beneficiary of
something
that.
here.
Yeah.
activity.
of
Well,
wrongdoing, of
that
my
one you're
wrongdoing,
actually-
of me harming,
use
of
of what?
Right.
Usufruct, okay,
who's the
yes.
person
Like the
with
fruit
the
of a
claim
tree.
Yes.
against me.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
The
I
blood
don't
of
do
the-
that
blood
stuff,
of liberty
quite
is,
frankly.
the
Right.
tree of
I don't even
liberty
do
is-
this.
is,
This is just
But-
my own.
Yeah.
It's watered by the
I
water.
don't do that
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
So,
That's
I
how
think
Boris does it.
the
So you'd
reason
have to
why
talk
America,
to
of
Boris
the
or a
United
trial,
States has been able to
and
I didn't get much of a
Underwrite.
trial.
right.
ships
right.
and planes.
I don't do
everything
that
they
stuff,
do
quite frankly.
Is because the current
You know,
Because although
De
what we did
facto
last year when I got
Federal
the summons
Reserve
for speeding,
government
Uh-huh.
type connection,
we were
has
able to
hypothecated all of that
basically
rolling
stop
forward.
the car.
Right.
This is me talking,
Right.
nobody else.
But
I'm the only one who who's
Okay.
I know
it
has
almost
ever
felt
said.
like
Right.
the judge said, "Okay,
To me,
I'm washing
you
my
see, what he's
hands."
saying is
No one sent
that
me
the estate
back
of my
anything. I'm washing my hands.
great-grandfather on
I'm
my
passing
dad's
on
side,
to
when that
agency
great-grandfather
and motor
passed
vehicle.
on,
well,
Yeah.
you know,
Send me with the
underlying
bill.
value
That
of
if I don't pay that, my
the-
license will be
the
suspended.
property of the
Uh-huh.
United States.
Not court,
right?
basically-
No
motor
doubt.
vehicle.
Yeah, no doubt. I came
Basically,
through Virginia,
It
and
actually
all of that
probably
stuff
related
about
to
doing
the
80
state.
miles an hour or more being
But I think
Yeah,
dangerous.
welcome to
That's
my
all
world.
taken down.
Passes on.
There's
Right.
none
You
of that
gotta
stuff.
take it down.
It's not up there anymore.
Because
So here these
Probably
guys are
because of your
fighting,
case, you
right,
never
for
know.
freedom. There's
no,
all
my
this
case, I lost my
value
case.
Oh, did you?
That's a
Really?
benefit.
Because I
There's-
wasn't going
Right.
to Virginia.
Yeah.
So my case went on January 2nd. We coming back from Tennessee, hockey tournament New Year's hockey tournament.
Right.
So who's this fellow
Tennessee.
Boris?
Right.
What do you- Is he someone local?
So
or-
I'm like
Boris is in
I want to
Florida.
be back at the
Is it
shop
Florida?
in the morning. So
Does he have a
let's
website?
speed up a little
He
bit.
used to, it's taken down.
Really?
I
They
wasn't
never
doing
bothered putting it
100,
back up again.
So a lot of
Right.
stuff.
although I'm
There's being
notorious
too
for
much
doing
information being put
160
out,
if
huh?
I can.
Yeah,
Right.
there was some interesting feedback he was getting
I think I was using
from
LIDAR.
people who
Right.
were agreeing
And-
with what he was saying.
We don't really have
Okay.
technology
Is he an older man?
to
An
go
old
against LIDAR,
Not really.
which is
Right.
the lie detector.
Right. Right. Laser.
No, not laser.
I would probably
Laser,
say
it would
late
spike
30s,
my
early 40s.
detector.
Oh, that's it?
Uh huh.
This is light.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, lasers.
I don't know,
are-
I've
Beam
heard,
of
I've heard of
light.
it before.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I never
No,
heard of
laser
Boris
is
before.
energy. This
no,
is
it
light.
didn't,
Okay.
it doesn't really get
It works kind of
great
like
deal
laser,
of,
but different footprint.
Okay.
That's why
light
neither
shone, I
X
guess.
or K or KA, any of those
they
bands
only know
would
about
pop.
him because
Right.
So
somebody
he
else
got me, he claimed that I was
came
doing,
here,
you know,
knew
nine-
him,
97
and then arranged
or
to come
98
over.
So he actually
miles
came
per
here?
hour.
Yeah, he
But I
came,
could
yeah.
swear,
okay.
I looked down,
He spent the whole day with
So
My
how,
wife is
how
next to
often
me.
have you been
So
running
Austin
these,
behind us.
these meetings there?
I feel like we're cruising.
They've been going for at least
I was definitely
3
over
years
80,
today.
Really?
but I wouldn't say I was over 90.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe I think the Nelson,
I'm
is
like,
this the
no,
fourth year
I'm
of
gonna take a
doing
lawyer.
these or longer?
I definitely don't want to
this is the fifth
cross the
one.
threshold of the courtroom.
Probably the third
Right.
year.
So I figure
Okay, so I came to the first
start
year
talking,
then. When I
found a
came-
lawyer who's next
we
door
lived
from
in,
the courtroom.
Spring
Literally.
of
I'm like,
3
listen,
years ago.
take the judge, take prosecutor. You guys,
Okay, so I
you
might have
guys
missed
dine
the
together
spring one and I
Friday
came
night.
to the
Don't tell me otherwise.
I
You
was-
all
I
dine
came to the
together
second
Friday
one
night.
So it's
Here's
3 years. I know
2,500
it's 3
dollars.
years, but
Get me out
because
of
that's
this.
how long I
Get me out of
ended
this.
up
So you run these
After
every,
my
every
stay,
twice a year?
What's the point you're gonna
Try
suspend
to
me?
twice a
Yeah.
year,
Right.
Or threaten me with...
Like
with-
6
with-
months
with-
apart,
with-
pretty much?
Well, for them it's
Okay.
misdemeanor, it's like...
So,
It was
it's
dangerous.
actually criminal.
Yeah. Right. It
It's
was.
criminal.
It was. Yeah. It was. It was a criminal.
What, not anymore?
Well,
You're
I don't
saying-
think it is. I don't think it is because they took all the signs down. They used to have signs going through Virginia saying if you're doing more than 80 miles an hour,
Right.
it's dangerous driving, and it's
Reckless driving.
reckless driving.
Right.
Really?
They
Yeah.
hit you with reckless driving, which is class
Yeah.
1 misdemeanor, whatever.
Right,
It
right.
goes with up to 1 year in prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Virginia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we going to go get something to eat?
guess
Yeah, why
so.
not?
Let's go get something to eat.
All right.
I want to pause this thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Now, you have to go and edit that, I guess, or?
Yeah.
Responsible, and she should at least speak up and tell people about that, say, hey,
Yeah.
because people have a right to vote, that are,
Well, she's doing the jural assemblies.
right.
Hannibal rights,
Yeah.
putting all that stuff
Okay.
on the jural assemblies.
So, let's keep moving. We've got a lot of territory to cover and not much time. The previous slide that we talked about is how all state statutes are actually federal statutes. And this is a Supreme Court case that basically confirms it. And I think I already read this one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. And so this is where it's codified at 26 U.S.C. 770139, or depending on, one of them's an older version of the U.S. code, and the other one's a newer version. I think I need something too. So I'm not sure which one's the current version, but one of them is.
How do you make yourself not residing in?
Well, see, this is one thing that I was telling these other guys before you got here. I am a senator with the Republic of Texas. There's my ID card, my diplomatic ID card.
Made by
The Republic
what
of Texas.
or whom?
Huh? Republic of Texas. They issue that to me because I'm in the Senate.
So you're a diplomat.
Yeah. Anyways, this is what they're having us do, and I think this is like really powerful, and I think anybody could do this, but you just have to set up some sort of group. It's got to be a group, and I'll show you why. In Texas, there's actually a Supreme Court case of Texas.
Yeah, because this is Department of State by a capital S.
Right, of the Republic of Texas. Right? There's a Supreme Court of Texas case. This is a letter from the clerk. In re, the people of the Republic of Texas by and through Richard L. McLaren, their diplomatic representative as acting ambassador and consul general and legal affairs officer for the Territorial Land District. Dear Counsel, this was sent to, I think, the Attorney General. Matter of fact, it was the Attorney General at the time. Today, the same Supreme Court of Texas dismissed the above styled numbered and styled proceeding for want of jurisdiction. So the Supreme Court doesn't have jurisdiction over the Republic of Texas. And there's a letter that says they don't. So,
The Supreme Court of Texas.
Supreme Court of Texas. Well, if the Supreme Court of Texas doesn't, nor the court does either.
I understand.
Anyways, so then if you go foreign government defined, 18 U.S.C. section 11, the term foreign government includes any government, faction, or body of insurgents within a country with which Texas is at peace, irrespective of recognition by the United States. So,
The
As
United
a-
States does not recognize the Republic of Texas as.
that's right. But I don't need their recognition. Right. So the cop stops me. I show them that. They say, I don't recognize you. I don't care. Doesn't matter. You don't need to recognize me. And then I tell them about Title 18, Section 112, protection of foreign officials, official guests, and internationally protected persons. And there's a list of a whole bunch of felonies. Whoever assaults, strikes, wounds, imprisons, offers violence to a foreign official, official guest, or internationally protected person, or makes any other violent attack upon the person or liberty of such person, or if likely to endanger his person or liberty, makes a violent attack upon his official premises, private accommodation, or means of transport, my car, or attempts to commit any of the foregoing, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. If they use a deadly weapon, it's not more than 10 years or both. Whoever willfully intimidates, coerces, threatens, or harasses a foreign official, right there, or an official guest, or obstructs a
But
foreign
you still
official.
hold driver's license issued by
Well, I just
state
don't.
agency.
No, you
I
don't
still
show 'em
don't. I don't show them.
Don't show them that, right?
But they see that you have it.
Not necessarily.
Your car is registered
Doesn't matter.
with state
I'm still a foreign official.
of.
Doesn't matter. I'm still a foreign official.
The man doesn't have. a
Okay, so
driver's
you know that leads me to only one question.
What's that?
How do I get something like this?
You'd have to come to Texas. Anyways,
license.
whoever.
Fighting for freedom costs a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, what you should, in my opinion,
Yeah.
do is
I
set
already
up.
dropped 3
Set up a-
liters of
how
my
about
blood.
investing-
How much
You have
blood
to invest.
do I
You mean
have
you have to
drop?
live there or have an address or
Again,
We're
The
going to
boat?
do this in New Jersey. That's his point.
listen to this.
Okay.
18 U.S.C. Section 11.
right?
Foreign government defined. The term foreign government includes any government, faction, or body of insurgents within a country with which the United States is at peace.
So if they ask me, am I an insurgent, the answer is yes.
Well, and you could even set up a Republic of New Jersey, and with the Republic of New Jersey Jural Assembly or something like that.
Look, we got 3 now. Me, Adam, and Bobby. Who else?
There you go.
Actually, just a proviso on that one.
Oh, 4. Okay, okay.
Well, no, I'd be fine, but I'm already a foreign.
All right.
Anyways, all you need is a faction or body of insurgents. It can
That's
be
a-
anybody.
That's
And
a
the
long
insurgents, I would look
involved
for a
number.
definition before you say.
Yeah, I don't know
you
how
are
they
one.
come up with that
Right.
number.
Look for the definition of
Actually,
insurgent that they're
09/11 2018, I'm thinking that's a
And it
date
depends on what
and
it
a
says
year.
in the title, if it even defines
And then this
Yeah.
other last digits is probably something else.
But is an insurgent at war?
Because it's either we have a lot of a lot of
Well,
diplomats.
the other
I wanna
word
say
they use is
diplomats,
belligerent as well.
diplomats.
Right.
Or,
Doesn't matter how
If
many.
you're a
Right?
belligerent
It's
against
any
the
government official. If
military
you read
order,
this,
they have rights to deal
foreign
with you.
officials, official guests, or internationally protected persons.
and you have this in a package?
I needed a stapler. I printed some copies. I needed it to be stapled. I don't have a stapler. But
So, regarding, like, all different people are setting up different, quote, jural assemblies
I don't have it stapled.
in different states.
But there's the package.
But this is on behalf of already, what, registered Republic of Texas?
Well, you don't have to be registered. Remember, registered suggests that maybe they're recognized. Right?
Yeah.
It says, regardless of whether they're recognized,
So,
irrespective of recognition by the United States, so you don't have to be registered.
Actually,
I
the
can
last thing you wanna
already
do is
see
be
me
registered.
being dragged into a
You gotta pick your
some
battles.
form of arrest and leaving with a summons to
You gotta just drive a little slower. Travel slower. That's all.
Actually, if he had the Texas tags,
Yeah.
I disagree. He can go as fast as he wants,
Really?
in my opinion.
Okay.
say it again.
He thinks if you have the Texas tags, you can travel whatever you want safely. In other words, you want to go 200 miles an hour. Oh,
No, it's not about that.
It's just not being, you see, when we have the registered tags, it gives them the presumption to be able to pull us over without, for any to investigate.
right,
basically.
right.
Even for infraction, right? To investigate.
Right, but with Glenn's,
But even within that, I don't think they can go into the trunk unless they ask you or give you something to sign.
They gotta have a search warrant.
Oh shit! they
No,
went
I
into
had that
the
happen to
trunk.
me though.
You must have
You don't
left
have any
them.
right. You could
Otherwise,
sit
there's
there on the front
absolutely no power
foot
to search.
with a guy, another partner's going through my
I
trunk.
do
That
not
happened about 2
recall
years ago.
allowing them
Well,
to go into my
I doubt
trunk.
they do that now,
but
and
they
again,
went
if they
into my-
did, if
So-
you
so they-
set it up properly,
They
they're
got
gonna
me
be walking
for
on eggshells just to
a
stop.
I
you.
also got
Blade
fleeced for
knife
like 300
on
bucks
my
then.
belt.
500 another time, and
But that's because I
probably
am a
got $2 grand total.
tradesman.
Yeah. Well,
And
I,
So you were already under
I
arrest
wasn't.
at that
I didn't
point.
hurt anybody. I wasn't drinking. I don't drink.
I
I wasn't in
wasn't-
any accident. I mean, I did was speeding,
You will have
One
been-
was a car
you will
was
have been
running a
under
little low in the
arrest.
back, an old town.
Possession
car,
of
you
an
know.
offensive weapon.
And
or
they got
something
stopped
of
and-
that sort.
Oh, you
Right,
got
so
you had a
they
thing
got
here
me
from
for the
Resolve
night,
from
but then
Utica, New York,
I
whatever,
was in a
which
cruiser
was,
and
but they didn't
went
show his
into the
Resolve.
trunk,
They
opened
got
the
arrested.
trunk 'cause the
Yeah.
car was
Okay,
being
and I
towed.
it was a middle. It was in Cherry Valley, New
There
York,
were
middle of woods,
5
basically.
handguns
Like the
and
guy's getting there,
2
putting the trying to put his shirt on and
rifles.
everything. The judge,
And I
so-called
wasn't
judge.
exactly on
It was
my way
it was
from
basically bogus.
office
Then there was
home.
one cop looked like he knew something wasn't right. In other words,
But the
or he did
summons
something
got
wrong. But
written
he said, "I don't want to see you
in
again. Don't
such
ever come."
a
You know.
way
Well, I never was
like-
in that area again anyway. But
there were 3
my
cops
car was taken.
Right.
You know.
walking between each other, talking on ear,
You know, all I can
whispering,
say
not
is,
knowing
I,
what
you
to
know, you
do
gotta
about
sue
me
them
once
when
they
something
saw
like
my
that
work.
happens.
Yeah.
And whether you win or not, I
And I'm
guarantee
like,
you, they get
look,
the word.
I can
By the way, how
call
long does it
Captain
take,
Pilecki,
or
I
how
can
far
call
after? If that's
this,
based on fraud, what they did.
whoever you want me to
Can you
call.
go after him? Like I had one thing
I
3
have
years ago,
wallet
and another
that's
thing like
full of
5 or 6 years
metal.
ago, one about 10 years ago.
I don't know what your state statutes say, but there's always
I really
statute of
worked
limitations.
hard
Depends
to
on
build
what you're
that
gonna go
wallet.
after them for.
To give
Okay.
But,
myself at least a little bit of that immunity.
I never got my
Yeah.
deposit. I never got my, so-called
At that
bail thing.
moment,
In other
I
words, well,
wasn't
we're gonna,
breaking any law.
but they knew I had cash on
I
me.
wasn't speeding. I was.
It's always they must
I
know
wasn't
they can tell you have
doing anything.
cash
I
on.
was
And
on
usually
the
they
side
don't
of the
carry that
road.
kind of cash. Like I don't know,
Little
5
That's
$6
why I
dollars.
carry
for
my
the next
cash in
2
one of those
days,
pouches.
throwing up after
Because
the
they
case
can
of
actually,
old
with Federal
chicken
Reserve
wings
notes,
and
there's a
French
platinum
fries.
strip in these things.
Well, now no, the new
And
ones,
they
yeah.
can pick them up.
What kind of pouch do you use?
And
One
I
of
got
these,
booked.
these are,
I mean, something that just they can't detect.
And
Them.
all my
Yeah.
whatever weapons I had in
These
a
things.
car in a trunk separated.
there's nothing that's gonna go
One
outside of
wasn't
this thing.
separated.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there some kind of a lining?
It's shielded,
And
yeah.
although
Oh.
it's the
So
it's the
you put your
style
cell
of a
phone in here and your
Taurus
cell phone won't
22,
ring
which
when
you
it
have
gets
to
phone
flip
calls
the
or anything.
barrel
It'll be like
open,
completely
load the
disconnected.
Oh, really?
22.
Right now,
In
my
order
cell
to
phone
then
is
follow
screaming
the
to the local
magazine.
tower, here I
You can
am,
have
here
full
I am.
magazine.
Right.
And I can
pull
even
the
turn it
trigger
off.
100 times,
And
nothing
they
gonna
would still
happen
know that I'm
unless
here.
the
So you
initial
have-
goes
Until you put it in
into
here.
Even if it's
Barrel.
on, if it's in
But-
there,
Yeah,
who
it's
makes
it's
those?
cut off.
the life rounds were
You
in the
can- I
magazine.
buy 'em
the
on
magazine
eBay.
was inside.
what are they called?
But you can I'll sell them here for $10.
That gun is
Okay,
not.
what's-
But you can buy them on eBay, and they
All
they
give
they,
the
have to, they come from
finally-
China is where they come from actually.
Oh, it
and
takes a while.
so it'll take a while to get it. But
It's just called a shielded whatever.
it's a
Yeah, it's difficult.
cell phone.
They have
shield.
the power to search.
It's
after
totally.
the
pouch.
In other words, no one can say
So
that
if
you're
you're
a
under
cops out there
arrest,
knows you're here.
then
Not
they
based
have
on the
power
phone
to
once it's
search
in here.
Okay.
on arrest.
For sure.
Interesting.
Anything
It's-
that
it's
you
cut
were
off.
in or
Right.
near at that point.
You won't get
It's
any
your
phone
property.
calls. You
Well,
won't get nothing.
it'll,
So if you
it
were
will go
in
to
or near
voicemail
your
and just
car,
go.
Right,
they have
exactly.
the right
All right,
to
all
search.
right.
I
well,
get
that's
it,
fine,
and
that's
I
fine.
don't
Yep.
know how to
Oh,
go about
I was
it,
going to ask you
although-
guys, does anybody want to go on a Bitcoin buying field trip?
How much?
How much? I don't really have plans to charge anything. I was just wondering if anybody wanted to go and do it.
What does it
sometime.
entail? I mean, what were you when you go
Well,
field?
you ever wondered about cryptocurrencies?
Yeah.
We could go through setting up a wallet.
So what happens when the power goes off?
I was going to ask the same thing
the
with
power, the power might go off. There's no doubt. Matter of fact, you ever heard of
But along with the power goes your wallet.
yes and no. Have you ever heard of the Carrington event? The Carrington event is a event that happened in the 1870s.
Okay, it wasn't Nancy then.
It was a solar flare,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it set telegraph
Yes.
stations
Yeah.
on fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Set telegraph stations on fire.
Oh.
Okay, you know what that means.
The shutdown communication
If
was
it's,
restored. Yeah.
it was such a high energy flare off the sun, and it came down so close to the surface of the earth, the energy, it was hitting the only thing that conducted electricity at the time,
Which was telegraph.
which
poles.
was telegraph wires.
How long ago was this? What year?
And it was
That's late 1800s.
it was sparking off of those things
1850s.
with such
1860s.
ferocity that it set on fire anything nearby, which would have been telegraph stations.
That wasn't Nikola was involved in that Tesla.
No.
Okay.
And so if you look at what we have that's conductive and in the air
Right.
nowadays,
Yeah.
you can imagine what would happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay? And so there's no doubt that the sun could have a massive solar flare and wipe out, but it's only going to do it on half the planet.
Not necessarily sun, but go ahead.
It's only going to do it on
Because it's
half.
basically, right, you got half,
It's only going to do it on half the planet,
right,
and the other half of the planet is it's not going to happen on.
okay.
And the it will, be a while probably before power is up. But again, you got to understand that the government, if that happens, the government shut down too.
If that happens, a lot of people are gonna be in trouble. There's
But-
no,
There'll be a
So
lot
if
worse
this
problems.
happens and a large region is without a power to be for the next, I don't know, 9 months.
Could be.
well,
Yeah.
you have,
But the Bitcoin wallet is still going to be there because there's literally millions of computers all around the planet.
Question is, what can you do with it? You cannot go to your local grocery store.
That's true.
if you can't access
That's
it,
true.
you can't
But
access
it's
it.
better than having it in a bank. Because
no
if the-
doubt there.
if
I prefer physical metal than.
Yeah, I
metal,
understand.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
You gotta have a nice safe somewhere no one can find
There's
out
nothing
where
wrong
you
with that.
are. They don't rob you.
What I do is I have
I have places.
Okay.
there is matter of fact, there's someone recently, and I could, if some point I'll show you the video if you guys want to see it. It'll be off camera.
Right.
There's someone recently that said that it's a remote viewer. You know what remote viewer is?
Yeah.
They said that sometime between December 15th and January 15th, silver is going to pop. Gold and silver are going to pop. Gold is going to go up to 23, 24, maybe 2,500, which is what, about 500, 600 more than it is now.
Right. Well, I know
But
with gold-
silver,
Yeah.
silver is going to go to 800.
Silver's a sleeper. Yeah.
Never
Silver's a sleeper.
happened.
The silver, you need silver.
It's up to you.
All the speculations
Silver.
in the past, watching the market,
Oh, no doubt. There's
depending on what was happening, we're talking up to 30, even 40% jump. Which
Yeah, I
is
know.
huge.
I know.
But now you're talking about 2,400%
Right.
Percent.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
jump from $30
I know.
an ounce to $800.
800.
Yeah.
That's
right.
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 Yeah, that's
Right.
right. It's up to you.
No, that sounds good. I believe in silver.
I would.
I owe
would.
silver. You know.
The reason you've
But I'll
heard,
take it all day long.
you've heard of Jim Willey.
No.
He does a newsletter called the Golden Jackass.
Gold-
Anyways, he talks about he's got YouTube videos.
I mean, I watch guys who talk about silver and gold
Well, he
and
talks
precious
about-
metals and what can happen, what can take place.
He's got contacts on Wall Street. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
He's got contacts on Wall Street. He says that his contacts on Wall Street are telling him that silver is going to go up a lot more than gold.
But that
Yeah,
would
that's
reflect on the market because you secrets
Yes, it
like
would.
that you can keep really
Anyways,
secret.
let me finish. He says that he thinks, well, first of all, his contacts, JP Morgan has a huge stockpile of silver. They got like about 1 billion ounces.
Really?
That's well documented.
Really?
But what he says is his contacts are telling him that is Chinese silver. They bought that for the Chinese. And so that's Chinese silver. And he says that JP Morgan actually is in a short squeeze. They've leased some silver out, and they're basically in some sort of short squeeze, and they're being forced to buy it at a loss right now. And so I don't know the scenario. I'm guessing.
Right.
This remote viewer is not Jim Willey. This remote viewer has said about the silver popping. I'm guessing, hypothetical situation, if JP Morgan is in the middle of a short squeeze, and then all of a sudden they were forced to buy a bunch of silver, then it could certainly make it pop like that. Some big bank like that, and they're forced because, and even if they had to buy it upside down, they got to produce it somehow, and so you short squeeze. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, I don't know. That's just my guess. Anyways, all I know is the remote viewer has said that gold and silver are both going to pop, but silver is going to pop by way more than gold, and
As early as 15th of February, I mean, December?
Between the middle of December and the middle of January.
Well, this is where the hell is really going to break loose.
Yeah, well, and that's true. And I think that, you know, that might be part of it. Because of, you know, maybe Trump getting reelected and, you know, everything going even more into chaos. You know,
And
who
this
knows?
is where Cultural College is going to make their decision, isn't it? The
Huh?
second week of December?
What's that?
Cultural
Oh,
College.
Electrical.
yeah,
Electric
yeah.
Electoral College.
Yeah.
Electoral college, yeah. Well, I'm not sure.
Electoral.
There's
Electoral.
You got your
There's-
minds on Catholicism.
there's a time period. There's a time period between when and they're going to wait a period of time for mail-in ballots and stuff. But at some
Right.
point, they're going to have to declare a winner. I'm not sure when that is,
Yeah.
but at some point they're going to have to
It
do that.
varies depending on the state.
Well,
right
not
now.
on the 20th, because Pelosi is already rubbing her hands,
Yeah, I know.
saying she's second in line.
Yeah, I
and
know.
She knows exactly what she's saying.
Yeah.
If she didn't, she would say, I'm the third in line. No, she knows she's the second, because two
I think
are
Pelosi's going to be hanging by a rope
Yeah,
soon. Yeah.
I'd like to see her get her neck stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's going to be one of them, you know.
Anyways, I got to use the restroom real
Okay.
quick.
All right. That's, you know, I had this.
Anyways, think about it.
How about-
if you
how about
want to go on a
silver
field trip to buy some Bitcoin, you know, I can buy some, or if someone else wants to buy some, we'll.
That's what I'm saying, without checking what's a current going price on a Bitcoin.
I'll tell
Depends
you
which one you buy. Because it's not just Bitcoin, there are other coins that you can buy that are not as expensive.
But going back to
Bitcoin's
my
quite
thing,
expensive right now.
Right.
so going back to my thing,